welcome back to the channel. Another double header weekend. We did the lead video yesterday. Now we're going to use the poor old Jensen for another demo because we've got another new toy in the workshop, and when we find a good one we like to shout about it a little bit. We've touched on quite a bit paint stripping. I'm pointing at the Cadillac because that's the last one that we did paint stripping with, where we used paint stripper and the DA for sanding. Now, our local MIRKA rep popped in the other day, Zach, and showed us a product that's actually been out from MIRKA now since October of last year, but it's the first we saw of it, and we jumped on board because it's awesome. It's a sander. It is a rotary sander. Now, before we get onto that, I mean, we've had it a couple of days, it's already looking very used, but before we get onto that, that's the staple within the workshop. That's a DA, dual action, random orbit sander. So just quickly, the difference being, this is random orbit, because as it goes round and round, it also oscillates. It's got approximately a 5mm throw on this, so as it goes round and round, it oscillates within the body, which is great for refinishing, refining. We'd use a 320 DA, for example, once we've got our filler work ready to accept primer. Because it oscillates and it throws it out, you don't get any tram lines. So it's good for refinishing a painted surface. Air powered, this one. It's noisy and it vibrates because it's oscillating. So it's a great bit of kit, don't get me wrong. But ask Bo, a day of using that, you're tired, you know about it. And it will get the job done in getting the paint off. Now, the new toy here, I mean, first off, the size difference. That's heavier. This, despite its bulk, is 1.8 kilograms. It's a really nice bit of kit. It's electric and it's rotary in as much as it just goes round and round. So the sales pitch with MIRKA is it's for aggressive sanding. Now, a rotary sander is nothing new. They've been around for donkey's years. The power this thing kicks out, though, is something else. It's a brushless motor, 750 watts, and it just keeps on going. And all of its energy is directed purely into removing paint. That's its sole purpose. We wouldn't use that for any sort of refinishing. So that's the Deros 600 RS, briefly explained. A couple of really nice features before we do a little demo on it. As I say, it's electric, so we're not consuming huge amounts of compressor power, a three-phase compressor chugging away all day. Anyone that works in a body shop or a shop will know that power cables are a bit of a pain. They wear out, they get used and abused. This, instantly replaceable, because this will end up being damaged, no doubt about that. Nice, quick and easy, and it locks into the body, so that's a nice little feature there. Moving forward with its features, electric power on, power off. Set your control speed here, the lights will illuminate. I'll run through this again in a minute where we're actually using it. But then you press the rotate and lock button, and the head will just rotate very gently and slowly. And it's got a pressure sensor in there, a load sensor, so that it knows as soon as you're loading up, it'll increase to the maximum speed, or the speed you've set it at rather. When you pull away, again, it instantly slows down, consuming less power. It's not working away and skipping away in your hand or wherever you put it. Again, a nice little feature. So, enough waffle, we'll cut straight to it now, literally. I'll start off with the pneumatic DA, show you how that works, as in works out on the panel. Keeping it a fair test, we're using the Iridium 60 grit MIRKA discs. These aren't what we'd normally use for refinishing work. Again, we'd use a much finer grade for one thing, but the Iridium is super sharp. They really do, they're super sharp, and they kind of self-sharpen as they go, so they've got a great amount of lifespan in that. I am going to do this without a mask. We've got the extractor on the go. And ordinarily, we would be using a mask as well, but I can't talk to you with a mask on. So, the adapter out of here. Bloody hell. There we go. So, what we're going to do, conveniently, the Jensen here, all the paint needs to come off the Jensen. And to keep this test nice and even and fair, we'll use the two halves of the front panel here to demonstrate how we go. Now, straight off the bat, this is quite noisy. I'll get the extractor going. I'm going to work on this area here. And you can hear straight away we're quite noisy now, but here we go. Again, the fair test, I'm not going to put a huge amount of pressure onto this, I'm literally guiding it. So, we're noisy and we're only just going to cut through the top coat now. Get a timer up really to see how much we're cutting and in what sort of time, but I think it's going to be quite evident. I'm going to stop that there. You can see how little we've achieved there. Straight off the bat with a 120 with the pneumatic DA. We can now go on with the rotary going. Right, very quickly then, as I say, power on, and then we can set what speed we want off of that. Press and lock. We're now rotating. Obviously this is something I can convey through a video, but with this DA, you kind of feel it in your palm after a while, jittering away. This already is super smooth, super quiet. Let's see how we go. Again, I'm not putting any pressure on this. And we're seeing bare metal already, look at that. I'm just guiding this. There's no pressure whatsoever on there. And it's nice and quiet. I can have a conversation. I can politely request a new cup of coffee. And the boys would hear me. And in no time at all, it's almost therapeutic and makes you want to carry on going, but I will stop this in a minute because I think it's fair to see we have proven the point of this demo. Get rid of all of that. We're not talking game changer here, but wow. As I say, rotaries have been around for a while, but nothing is that quiet, that efficient, that light. Just, yeah, that's pretty much the demo we had when Zach came in. We actually used a bit of the Camac for that, but he showed us that, and it was, take the money. It's going to save us so much effort just cleaning that back, and it gives you a nice, you know, the panel's not hot, it's not got big gouges in it. That's prepared and ready to accept the next process, be it epoxy, filler work, or whatever, however you work. So really a good workshop investment. I think that was $475, $500 plus the VAT. And we're going to use, as I said, we wouldn't use that for refinishing a product, a primer or anything like that. Certainly wouldn't use it for any buffing and polishing. It is purely going to be used for this purpose. It's a brushless motor, and MIRKA reckon with heavy use that'll easily do 5 years. Which I know some people might think, oh, all that money, you get 5 years out of it. These are heavy industrial tools and they take some abuse. So we're quite fine with that. You know, we have to update and replace our equipment all the time because it wears out. We are heavy users of this equipment. So I think all the features that come with it, the fact it is single phase, so light, so easy to use, it's going to use little or no energy, fantastic tool. Really appreciate that, Zach, for popping in and showing us that, and we're going to look forward to cracking on and ripping off quite a bit more paint quickly and easily and cleanly without the stench of paint stripper and the 9 pairs of gloves and so on. So there we go. We'll find something else, I'm sure, to demo on the Jensen, but in the meantime we'll carry on getting this thing stripped down and repaired, and we'll catch up with you next week with some car focused videos.